All right, you know, some questions never lose their relevance. They only evolve with time and age. So tonight on Newsline, we will start with one such question that has evolved with generations of parents even onto the digital time. It's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Now remember those words once delivered by our own NTA's iconic Frank Ulisse. They were a nightly reminder for parents then. Of course, the Gen Z won't understand, but back then, childhood meant moonlight games, dusty streets, and the comforting certainty that children would be home before dark. But today, that question is no longer about the physical whereabouts of our children, but their virtual or online presence. So, do you know who is engaging your children and vice versa? Jonathan Omajali explores the stories of parents trying to keep up, revealing the pressures and fears that now define parenting in the 21st century.
Parenting was simple. You watched where your children went, who they played with, and what they did. And that was enough. But today in the global village, that simplicity is gone. Neighborhoods have given way to digital villages, where a child's location is no longer enough to ensure their safety or well-being. The real world now overlaps with screens, apps, and social media, creating a terrain parents must navigate because childhood has moved indoors into a world of screens, social media, and endless digital spaces where children can wander, get lost, or even be harmed without ever leaving their bedrooms.
When I'm less busy, I usually play video games, or I go online, like Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, go round again like that, yeah.
While healthy engagement with social media can offer learning and connection, the risks are just as real.
For some of my daughters, when they are indoors, they hardly talk to me. You understand? So they are gross, just glued to their phone. So at times it becomes a challenge, you know. So, and most times they go into some website, you know, that it will influence them negatively. I will tell you a story. My daughter, when she got admission, something happened. My wife, you know, one day, you know, decided to go into her phone and she saw some chats. She was asking, somebody was asking her that she's still a virgin, you know, mocking her, and she became worried. She went to GPT chat and asked, if I have sex, what is the consequences? So my wife saw those chats and we probed her. Luckily, we started digging deep. In fact, I had to go to the school and report the matter because the girl that was influencing her was her roommate.
His story is far from unique. Across the country, parents admit that blind trust and unchecked screen time can come at a heavy cost. Too many only realize the danger after the damage is done. Now, how can parents strike a balance between letting their children explore the online world and keeping them safe from its dangers?
It's important that in your busy schedule, you create a time to interact with your children, to ask them questions, to discuss with them, to observe them. Children don't do well if they are not observed. You observe the child when the child uses social media. Try to even understand the platforms that the child has interest in. Some of the topics, the kind of things that actually makes the child interested, that actually, you know, gives that child some rights, some energy, and all of that. Once you understand that as far as online and internet or the digital media device is concerned, it helps you to know and to track the possible things that can happen against that child within the context of that space where that child is enjoying himself or is living or is interacting with the people on.
Don't give your children that see underage phone. Allow them to grow to maturity when their senses are mature. They know what is good and what is bad, even on their phones.
My son is in primary 4. He will want to do assignment with my phone. I said, no, don't carry my phone and do assignment. Go and do it by yourself. Don't carry assignment. You have not got to that age to carry my phone and use it to browse for assignment.
And so, Franco Lizzie's words return louder, more urgent and more relevant than ever. Do you know which sites they visit, who they interact with, or who might be bullying or manipulating them online? In today's digital age, knowing your child's physical location is no longer enough. Staying connected, aware, and engaged even in the online world may be the most important way to protect them.
Thank you, Jonathan. Indeed, technology is having so much effect on our lives. But let us now turn to how it is also redefined certain routines that we all, are familiar with, routines that we all grew up with. Now, it was once a familiar fixture on our walls and desks in the offices. It's called the humble calendar. It's quietly disappearing from homes and offices. And its absence evokes memories of marked dates, crossed out days, and shared moments in time. But in an age ruled by, smartphones and digital reminders, one would ask, has the calendar simply lost its relevance? Neka Ono explores whether Nigerians miss this everyday companion, or have they already turned the page? And for Gen Z raised in a digital world, we ask, does the traditional calendar still hold any meaning at all? Let's find out.
There was a time when the calendar was a fixture in almost every home and office. It hung proudly on the wall, colorful, neat, sometimes decorative, quietly guiding our days and months. Today, that familiar sight is slowly fading away, almost unnoticed, as life moves at a much faster pace.
People don't normally print calendar now because they have alternatives. Maybe with your phone, you can check date, time, and every other thing. So people don't bother themselves about printing calendar again.
If you see 10 persons wearing wristwatches and you ask them to tell you the correct time, you'll be surprised that only one of the 10 is functioning. The reason is that the phone, the handset you have in your hand, provides answers to all these things.
Many say technology is the reason. With digital calendars, smartphone alerts, and reminders from digital apps, dates and appointments now live inside our phones and other devices. The need to check the wall has reduced. But for some, the shift is now without emotion.
To their children, to teach them how to read both days of the weeks, days of the months, and the days of the market days. They have to learn it so that whenever they travel out, they will know today is Olie, today is Afo, today is Enko.
There is nostalgia for the simple act of flipping pages, circling important dates, or tearing off a month at its end. A calendar was a tool, a routine, a memory maker. And then there is the question of the younger generation. Though Gen Z still relates to the wall calendar, or has it become just another item of the past, an archive of how things used to be?
I've seen a calendar. A calendar is used for checking dates, and I don't use it.
For me, year to year, I don't go to calendars. Rather, I make use of my cell phone.
The world has evolved to more complex way of accessing calendar, other than buying the calendar to keep out. So you can access calendar through your gadgets.
As the world goes increasingly digital, the wall calendar may be disappearing, but the question remains, can technology truly replace the simplicity and charm of seeing days and months displayed right before your eyes?
Well, some traditions fade with time, but there's one thing that never does. That's our identity. And the national anthem is actually meant to unite every Nigerian, and it's our shared pride and patriotism. But yet, recent public events suggest that many citizens still struggle to sing our national anthem correctly. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, says this highlights a need for fresh civic education, especially among young people. Our correspondent, Femi Afarioko, takes a closer look at what this means for not just ordinary Nigerians, but for every Nigerian.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Fumiton Balogun is not alone when it comes to saying the national anthem. Nigeria, we hail thee. The anthem, a symbol of Nigeria's sovereignty, unity and collective identity, is expected to be known and recited by every citizen. From school assemblies to public events, Nigerians are expected to rise, stand tall, and sing along. But almost 2 years after this version was reintroduced in May 2024, many Nigerians are still struggling with the lyrics, rhythms, and full rendition of the anthem.
We hail thee, our own dear native land.
Our own dear native land, whose Atafa made this a wish for the woodies land.
I don't know the national anthem.
Yet there are heartwarming moments where some Nigerians confidently sing every line.
Oh, tribe and tongue made the Eva, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's all, I'm proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
In brotherhood we stand.
Noting the trend, the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, says the challenge reflects a gap in civic awareness rather than a lack of respect for national symbols.
Do you know what the problem we're having in this country? Non-chalant attitude towards government activities, programs, and policies. If we are committed, and we are committed, that patriotism will be there.
Stakeholders agree that rebuilding patriotism must begin with knowledge, participation, and respect for national symbols. The National Orientation Agency is therefore urging Nigerians to see the national anthem not just as a ceremonial song, but as a call to unity, responsibility, and national pride.
Well, as for me, I can't recite the national anthem from start to finish, word for word. It's a timeless tradition for me. Now let's take you to Oyo, a town of history, ancient relics, royalty and tradition. Oyo is known for its deep cultural roots and is also home to people of different faiths, Muslims, Christians, and of course traditional worshippers who live side by side. Here, faith may take different forms, but the people share one identity, one community, and a common way of life. And our correspondent shares with us how different faiths coexist peacefully in Oyo Town.
Oyo Town, mosques, churches, and traditional shrines exist side by side. Religious practices are carried out with tolerance, and differences are embraced with understanding. This culture of coexistence is not just new, it is like a heritage passed down through generations.
Let's look at social life here in Oyo and organizational structures. In some organizational movements in Oyo, both the progressive movement, academic organizations, and some others, you will see the involvement of traditionalists, Christian, and Muslim. All these make us one.
In Oyo Town, we have been enjoying this peaceful atmosphere in religious harmony and peaceful coexistence and tolerance amongst all religious adherents in Oyo Town. We have been having it so good, and we are having it so better, and inshallah it will continue in this way.
Your land, the African religion, which we call traditional religion, has been with our fathers. Then Islam came, and after Islam, Christianity has come to Oyo now about 170 years ago. And we discovered that all the three religions, they've been coexisting and showing love, understanding, and respect for each religion.
Within many families, religious diversity is a way of life. Muslims, Christians, and traditional worshippers often live under the same roof, united by family ties and a shared sense of belonging. For the people of Oyo, community comes before creed. Religious leaders underscore the importance of harmony, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence among people.
Let's look into community-wise. In one compound, we have Christian, we have Muslim, we have traditionalists living together under the same roof, dine together, wine together, plan together, and do things together.
We live as siblings in Oyo. There is a common saying in Oyo that Oyo yara kan ni Oyo. There is no way you will start tracing your background that there won't be all other religion that's connected to you.
Although their doctrines differ, their message remains the same: peace, unity, and mutual respect. Across markets, schools, and homes in Oyo town, religion rarely determines relationships. Instead, character and conduct define how people relate with one another. So, in Oyo town, faith may differ, peace is shared. Different religions, one people.
That's what unity in diversity it's all about. You're watching New and Back. Now, there's always a time to reflect on the good things in life, express gratitude, and bond with loved ones. That was exactly what the Nuns of St. John International in Nigeria did at a Thanksgiving Mass held to mark a smooth and peaceful transition of newly elected officers who will steer the affairs of the organization for the next 4 years. Adiola Komiakere was there.
A Thanksgiving Mass, which had members of the order from across the country in attendance, began with a procession of knights and ladies of Knights of St. John International in their full regalia. Right Reverend Monsignor John Asuko Aniagu, who represented the Archbishop of Lagos, Most Reverend Alfred Adewale Martins, congratulated the KSJI members who converged on Lagos for their national Thanksgiving Mass, having concluded their election. He admonished the members not to forget God, their Creator, as a result of riches.
Anyone who fails to recognize that he depends on God and that he is nothing without God, even if he is as rich as Solomon, that person is poor.
The highest degree of the order was invested on Monsignors Aniagu and Okodua, while Sir Augustine Oswara, who clocked 90, was celebrated. The knights and ladies, with joy and gratitude in their hearts, danced to the altar for their Thanksgiving. The newly inducted presidents of the Knights and Ladies appealed to members to strengthen the brotherhood and renew the beauty of the order through unity, peace, and collective service to God and humanity.
We have been performing some charitable functions, and during my own time, of course, that will be promoted. And discipline, we just have to rest our order on proper discipline. And then physical development.
We want to reach out to the grassroots, basically spirituality. We want to build, we want to pray for the church.
Immediate past presidents expressed their desires for the new officers.
Whatever they do, they must put prayer, do retreat, visit people who are not doing well.
And she will continue from where we stopped, especially in that sponsorship of mass marriages, sponsorship of adult baptism.
At the close of the Thanksgiving Mass, the new president inspected a guard of honor. A reception was later held where the whole ritual of cake cutting according to the order was observed. Host of the KSJI National Thanksgiving was ecstatic.
The nation of Knights of St. John International is very broad because we have about 21 grand commanders who have gathered themselves here.
There are about 18,000 members of the Knights of St. John International in Nigeria.
Okay, let's now turn our attention to the Diary of a Linkman. Now, it stands for fairness, professionalism, and collective interest of everyone, irrespective of race, gender, age, ethnicity, or even political affiliation. Gathering experiences and knowledge. Now, this has translated into an enviable documentation of events. We are talking about Salem Ali Salam, the nationalist whose life remains a delight to many. And Annie Daniels was at the unveiling of his new book titled Diary of a Linkman, Reflections on a Life of Service and Connections.
Venue is the NAF Conference Center, Abuja. Politicians, captains of industry, the academia, oil moguls, and several others have come to have a taste of Salem Ali Salam's milk of kindness.
There are certain things that were done in this country, and there are so many patriotic Nigerians that have contributed toward actualizing some of those dreams. And we tend to forget so easily. And I felt that there is a need for us this time around, right, to document those kind of things for all to know, right, and for the sake of posterity.
Described as a go-getter, Salam's contribution to issues are weighty, thoughtful, and impossible to ignore.
It is also, for me, a pleasure to see a friend of mine writing such a very important and documentation of his public life.
The book, Diary of a Linkman, chronicles the career and behind-the-scene insights into key decisions made by major players in the society.
The book, on the whole, is yet another addition to the books of history of our growth and development. And it is through that we discover our shortcomings and encourage others to learn from the past.
It is telling us that LNG, as a model of public-private sector engagement, can be dogged in adherence strictly to non-corruptibility in its relation with any public sector entity, whatever is the level of corruption within the operational environment it is operating.
Divided into 3 parts and 12 chapters, the book is complemented by interesting pictorial representations that bring the narrative to life.
An invitation to engage more thoughtfully and with governance, to insist on ethics in public affairs, and to play our respective roles with a deeper sense of responsibility to the nation.
And one earnest wish from the author.
I hope Nigerians are going to read the book. I hope government relation practitioners are going to read this book. I hope public relation practitioners are going to read this book. I hope people in businesses will read this book, because I try to create relationship and correlation right between business and governance.
Salem Ali Salam is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Surveyors. He headed 3 critical departments in the Nigeria Liquefied Gas Limited and made tremendous impact as head of the government relations and stakeholder management development.
Now, 50 years of life, 50 years of grace, a journey of generosity, faith, and countless lives touched perfectly, describes Matthew Tonla as he climbs the 50th floor. It was no surprise that well-wishers gathered to thank God for bringing him to this milestone. Susan Isu captures some memorable moments of the event for us here on Newsline.
50 years is not a count of time, but a harvest of grace, growth, and God's unfailing mercy. So it is for Matthew Tonglaha, described as an institution whose quiet philanthropy has touched countless lives. At 50, his celebration became a testimony to faith, benevolence, and the belief that with God, hope is never lost. The Golden Celebrant says his life's journey finds expression in Psalm 23, a chapter he describes as his anchor through seasons of abundance and trial.
When my mother gave birth to me after 3 months, they gave me a polio vaccine from Awala Hospital in London. That is what I'm facing today. My mother was rejected. Everybody rejected my mother. But God stands very down.
Well-wishers, among them Delta State Governor Sheriff Oboroweri, took turns to recount his acts of generosity, offering prayers for greater grace and divine elevation.
Salute your courage, your boldness, your sincere heart, and your service to humanity.
I can only pray that the Almighty God will strengthen him.
My prayer for him, that the Lord give him more years to live.
I describe him as a blessing to Benegrubu community, to Baramatu, and to the Niger Delta.
For his wife and children, his true wealth is not counted in material possessions, but in the many lives uplifted through compassion and selfless giving.
God bless. God keep you. God make his face continually shine upon you.
Amen. I really appreciate my dad for being, like I said, the role model and the story, grace upon grace. Thank God. Everyone's here to praise God with him.
The night flowed seamlessly into songs of thanksgiving as gospel artists lifted voices in praise, sealing a celebration defined not by luxury, but by gratitude.
All right, congratulations to the celebrant. Now, with the echo of talking drums, quiet prayers for a better tomorrow, the ancient town of Obaoke in Olorunda local government area of Osun State told its story once again. As usual, through culture, unity, and a collective call for progress. It was the 27th Obaoke Day celebration, a platform for reflection, renewed advocacy for accelerated socio-economic development, especially in infrastructure, youth empowerment, and community growth. Again, we join Femi Afariugo as he narrates how the event unfolded.
It's that time of the year for the convergence of sons and daughters of Obaoke. The event is the 27th Obaoke Day celebration, a time of reflection and shared history, celebrate progress and renew commitment to unity and development. Culture and community spirit took center stage as they returned home to honor their roots. The occasion also recognized the steady strides made under the leadership of Oba Adams Iyola, the Oloboke of Obaoke, alongside the effort of the Obaoke Development Association in driving socio-economic growth in the town.
I feel happy. I feel joyous. Seeing my children gathering together to see to the development of this town, I'm very, very, very happy. We shouldn't do our things in isolation. Let us go together, bring the ideas, and see to the development of this town. That is my message to my children.
A proud son of the soil and senior special assistant on protocol to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ambassador Issa Niniola, commends the town's staying power and collective spirit. He urged indigenes to remain united, noting that sustainable development thrives when people work together with a shared vision.
Plan to do more projects, and by the grace of God, we also did a program for empowerment of poultry farmers. If you recollect, that is to tell you that we have so many projects lined up for this community. The presence of federal government in this community will be facilitated. More and more projects will come to Oboke.
The celebration also provides platform for dialogue, bringing together friends and stakeholders to exchange ideas on how to position Oboke as a model community.
Let me first congratulate KBC of Oboke and Ambassador Niniola for celebrating this day.
My appeal to the community is to encourage those youths to register as voters so that they can discharge as civic responsibility.
The 27th Oboke Day celebration concluded with renewed call for unity and sustainable community-driven development.
All right, it's just about 10 or just a minute after 10, so please go grab some snacks if you may and be ready. More stories after this break. Welcome back. Now, when does the quest for justice cross the line into tragedy? That question hangs heavy over Masoma, Bayelsa State, after a 24-year-old Patrick Peresode reportedly died from Tacho, allegedly involving both a civilian and security personnel. Residents, human rights groups, and indeed the state government are all demanding accountability. Our correspondent, Ibinimi Zimitiola, has been following this story for us on Newsline.
What began as a disagreement on social media has ended in tragedy. 24-year-old Patrick Peresode, an indigene from Masoma in southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa State, lost his life under unusual circumstances. Patrick was reportedly taken from his home in the early hours of January 15, 2026, allegedly by a prime suspect now on the run with the aid of some personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Family sources alleged he was subjected to severe maltreatment for several days before being handed over to the police. He was later released from police custody to seek medical care. But sadly, Patrick died while receiving treatment at the hospital. A young life cut short, leaving a grieving family and a community demanding answers. Civil society groups, the acting paramount ruler Afo Masoma, and the Bayelsa State government are all calling on the police to ensure that everyone involved is held accountable.
We have always maintained peace, law and order. That count our youth. That count those who have been so aggrieved, even the families.
As far as I'm concerned, his fundamental human right has been breached, right to life. If you want to arrest, you do your arrest and take the person to the station. And again, you don't obtain somebody's statement under duress. The law do not permit you to start giving somebody inhuman treatment. You beat him to the extent of he went into coma. No law permits that in any way.
I have equally also directed the Honorable Attorney General to go into the matter because it is a case of murder. And when once it is a case of murder, it is indeed against the state. So it will be the state versus any other person who, after investigations, will be prosecuted.
In the meantime, Bayelsa State Police Command says it has begun investigations with the arrest of 4 NSCDC personnel, while efforts are ongoing to apprehend the prime suspect. In a statement, the police public relations officer, DSP Musa Mohammed, disclosed that the State Criminal Investigation Department is also questioning officers attached to the Operation Restore Peace, Operation Puff Adder, where the deceased was previously held.
Now, with steady hands and unbroken spirit, Innocent Uzoma Anele shapes leather into livelihood, working not by sight, but by skill, memory, and faith in his ability. Now 43, Anele lost his sight 11 years ago at the age of 32. But where darkness fell, determination rose. He refused to be defined by blindness, but held on to the craft he knew best, choosing dignity over despair. God's-power Iribu brings us this quiet story of courage.
It takes us to Ihe, a remote community in Echie local government area of Rivers State, far from the bustle of Port Harcourt. Here, we meet Innocent Uzoma Anele, a talented visually impaired cobbler. Innocent's ordeal began in secondary school when a senior student, attempting to punish another pupil, accidentally struck his eyes. That single moment changed his life forever.
I was working in the shop, so after coupling a shoe, the spark glue I applied on the fancy. While applying it, thing jumped into my right eye. So that was why I had issue from my right side.
His father, Clifford Anele, recounts the pain of watching his first son gradually lose his sight and the desperate efforts made to save his vision.
I don't think that the problem will be like this. I took him to so many hospitals. Anywhere they mentioned that he would be all right, I sent him. I gave him money.
Before he became completely blind in 2015, Innocent had already learned the trade of shoemaking. Today, despite total loss of sight, he continues the craft for survival. What stands out is how he works without modern tools and support.
I would like to be helped the area of equipment. If I find that help, maybe given an opportunity of going outside this place, why? I need something good for myself.
This small room is his father's house, where Innocent lives with his wife, whom he married 2 years after losing his sight, and their 4 children. With the little room to work, he struggles to earn enough to support his family.
To feed my children, nowhere, and my husband, nowhere to feed. They had us to eat. Sometimes we will not eat as we feed to eat.
Anele's story is one of inner strength and quiet determination. Though blindness has taken away his sight, it has not taken his dignity, his skill, or his hope for a better tomorrow.
Let's turn now to another story, and this one is why we keep putting off what matters most. It's called procrastination, the thief of time. It has quietly slowed personal ambitions and even government action across Nigeria. Now, what seems like a harmless delay can translate into lost opportunities and wasted resources. And as 2026 unfolds, can we unlearn this habit? Lukman Hassan finds out in our next report.
From delayed completion of infrastructure projects to stalled entrepreneurship dreams of individuals, the effects of procrastination are far-reaching. Procrastination for many leads to stress, anxiety, and missed opportunities. We spoke to experts and everyday Nigerians about the impact.
I think at one stage of my life, I supposed to have done one exam that would qualify me for upper grade in my career, and I did not do it in time. Those who are my contemporaries have been rated above me. So that is what I regretted.
I wanted to learn about fashion designing when I finished my secondary school. So I was just posting it that I will do it. Unfortunately for me, when I got married, it was somehow difficult for me to go back, even up till now. So it's now, anytime I remember, it's used to pain me.
They are dealing with in any business, reputation matters. A moment you are found to be somebody who procrastinates a lot, let me tell you, it will bastardize that kind of a character that you have built years past.
For Nigeria, procrastination translates to lost productivity, delayed development, and a struggling economy, leading to a major obstacle to national growth.
He said, when opportunity comes my way, I grab it. When opportunity comes my way, because that opportunity, you may not see it again. So, in the Mabru is our Shaya, and Yakumala Fayako, as Brian Lazibia, Mala Contukulo. This is a kind of decisive and prompt action exhibited by God in the way he does things. God does never delay. And that is what we are supposed to emulate.
There is, however, hope that by adopting simple strategies such as time blocking and accountability, Nigerians can overcome procrastination.
For you to regain everything that you might have believed you have lost by way of procrastination, the thing that it desires for you to regain it is for you to come back to yourself and begin to take decision at the right time. Once you decide to do a thing, you don't allow it to slip away till tomorrow.
We need to prioritize, set achievable goals, and take action. Only then can 2026 end with goals attained and fulfillment.
Well, we are all guilty of procrastinating, one time or the other. But, they all bring a lot of big setback. The goal, start small. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Once upon a time, there was a land plagued by blandness. Food had lost its flavor and there was nothing left to savor. Just then, the tastemaker arrives to restore taste to this land of blandness. All she did was sprinkle, stir, and serve. And from that day on, they knew one truth. All they need is sprinkle, stir, serve.
Tastemaker. Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil? Every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in Gamma Original. Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil reduces bad cholesterol.
This Ramadan, tensions rise and hearts are tested. Two rival sisters can love in what pride broke. A defiant daughter, will she earn forgiveness? A young bride, can her faith bring her husband back? A wealthy businessman forced to rediscover family. An influencer torn between friendship and fame. A single mother learning that even strength needs support. 6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, and forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Watch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, mark returns of the heat.
All right, now they say you should choose your fruits the way you choose your friends. So when you get to the market and reach out, what guides your hand? Is it taste, habit, or health? Because every time you pick a fruit, you're choosing more than food. You're actually making a small decision about your health and your life. But in today's markets, where colors and choices overflow, how much do we really know about the fruits we pick? Erica Ivy speaks with everyday Nigerians about the fruits they choose and why.
Fruits are vital sources of essential vitamins, minerals, and folates, which are crucial for tissue repair, immune function, and healthy blood pressure. But with ignorant and increasing cost of fruits in the market, do people use fruits as part of their diets? And if yes, what are their favorite fruits and why?
My favorite fruit is watermelon. First, I like that it's nice and it's medicinal.
Why do you love mango?
I like eating the fruit is sweet and it makes me feel healthy.
I actually love pears because it's not sugary at all, and it also helps in blood circulation.
Nutritional experts maintain that some fruits are rich in fiber, antioxidants, potassium, and others protecting the body against damage.
As a caterer, more on when you cook,
At the end of the day, talk about heat. So carrot worked very well in the eyes. I'll just advise that any fruit that is in season, you try to grab it at that time and make sure you have a quite and good number of it, because fruits are very essential in the body.
A good choice of fruit enhances the skin to reduce aging and lower the risk of heart and cancer diseases. But how much do you know about the fruit you eat?
Oh, my favorite fruit is, I think it's pineapple and watermelon. I really love them a lot because aside other benefits, they are good for my health.
Having had health issues prior to now, and I discovered some unorthodox means of combating those ailments, fighting inflammation and all of that.
Well, so I do not mean that it cures something, but I meant that it aids my digestive system. So I've observed that when I take it after a meal, it helps me to, digest the food.
In spite of the economic realities in the country, fruit and vegetables to one's diet for a healthy lifestyle are nutritional engine rooms supporting the body against diseases such as stroke, high blood pressure, as well as cancer.
I like the juicy nature of pineapple. It can quench your thirst. It has glucose. You can take it when you are very hungry, and it will satisfy you.
Like some people goes on fruits, they say it's their diet, they go on fruits. It's very good, it's natural. Orange is one of my favorite fruit, and I love orange very well because anytime I take orange and go to bed, I feel very comfortable when I wake up in the morning.
I like eating pineapple at any time. If you give me, I like you. No time you give me that, I will refuse it.
There is no reason not to include fruits in your diets. So make it a habit to consume fruits daily, and your body will thank you with better health, glowing skin, and increased vitality.
I love all fruits, but English pear, plum, and soursop are among my favorites. So among the treasures of Igbo land, few fruits command as much attention as the African star apple, lovingly known as Udala or Udara. But it's botanically called Chrysophyllum albidum. It comes in two varieties, sweet and sour, but it's also called the sweet type called Wanu. That really steals the show, and of course there's usually a quiet frenzy whenever Udala or Udara Nwanu is in season. In our next report, Ngozi Okafor takes a look at the rush for Udara Nwanu.
Udala is a seasonal fruit widely enjoyed across Nigeria and beyond. But in the southeast, the Nwanu variety common in Abia and Imo states stands out for its exceptional sweetness. Available mainly during the dry season from December to about April or May, many lovers of a fruit believe it tastes even better after the first rains. Its sweet tart flavor and refreshing bite make Udala highly sought after, with demand often outstripping supply.
Because of the sweetness in Udara Nwanu, I think agriculturists, they are now intentional about planting Udara Nwanu.
Very, very well. And it's a very sweet Udara that is also good to the health.
Beyond its taste, Udala offers strong nutritional value. It is rich in fiber, vitamins, and essential minerals, including calcium, iron, potassium, phosphorus, and magnesium, supporting digestion, bone health, and overall well-being.
Udara Nwanu is essential. It's very, very highly nutritious in the woman body. Mostly in pregnancy, we advocate that pregnant women should take Udara Nwanu and other kinds of Udara because they have their different benefits. And Udara contains vitamin C. It heals sore throats. It is also used as a toothache remedy. Then it's also a remedy for constipation.
Along its value chain, from farmers who harvest it in the farm to transporters, traders, and roadside sellers, Udala creates seasonal livelihoods. Despite its short shelf life, the fruit commands good prices, boosting incomes in rural communities.
I harvest by myself, not cutting the branches. So it's like I manage it by myself so that by next year I'll also expect more seed to sell to my customers.
It grows naturally, and people will not see it and nurture it and allow it to grow.
Fine, look, business fine. One is very, very sweet and it's moving well. The other business is going very well.
Naturally grown, neither cloned nor genetically modified. The remarkable sweetness of the one variety leaves many wondering how nature got it so right.
All right, let's take you into the heart of Ijaw communities where swimming is a way of life, survival, culture, and identity. For this, we join Ebinimi Zitimiyola.
For the Ijaw people, life begins and flows with the river. Children are introduced to swimming almost as soon as they take their first steps, learning a skill that has been passed down for generations.
It's from 3 years now. 3 years you know how to swim. So they are not afraid even when they were in the, they bathe in the river, that there are mothers who don't have baby things. They take them to the water and bathe them. Some you can even float them. The mother will be washing, the child will be floating. Only some sink. Not all children are the same weight. So some float, some sink. So we are not afraid of water at all.
Since my mother carried me to come to this river, now as I be swim, I swim like fish.
Young Tokoni, like many Ijaw children, feels at home in the water. For her, every dip in the river is joy and freedom.
If I swim, I have fun. If I'm sad, if I swim, I have fun.
They can wrestle inside the water. They can throw mud at each other. Then they train themselves on how to stay inside the water for minutes or few 1 minute, 2 minutes, just like that. Or they can carry a bottle in their hand. Then they dip themselves inside the water to fill the bottle. If you are not able to fill the bottle, then you have not been able to utilize the ocean. You go in with very well.
The river provides food, transportation, and livelihood for them. Traveling by canoe and daily shores all depend on water. Also, they believe the river holds spiritual and cultural meaning. It shapes ceremonies, festivals, and local traditions. The talent in Ijaw waters is undeniable. Grooming these young swimmers is not only about keeping traditions alive, but also about nurturing champions who could bring pride and recognition to the state and the country. I tell you, for the Ijaw, swimming is a skill and a natural way of life, a heritage and a connection to the water that defines them.
I tell you, the rhythm of life is never static, and the rhythm of news rarely waits for perfect hindsight. So we keep moving, learning, listening, observing, and of course thinking ahead, making each next step to count. And until we meet again next week, by God's grace, here is my 2-couple piece for the week. Now the Yorubas would say, Asho alasho ni ogafi mora. The chameleon survives by adapting to what surrounds it. Think about it, and good night, everyone.